And what's
get
the
the
Spanish lady?
financial.
Raquel, number.
Oh, yeah.
Cause, the,
Kenny.
sometimes they call me for
That's
Spanish
one
language
side.
or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
hope
they're
so.
doing great too, Bob and
I
Raquel.
would-
If you
They
were
come
to
and took
report
off.
that,
That's good.
this
Did
is
they?
how much we
They did, yeah.
I don't know if you want
They
this
hit the
from
ground
social
running,
or
so.
from
Oh, wow.
They did
That's
Oh,
great.
that's
How
how
old
much
was
we
the
earned?
person that
This is how
decided
much
to
the
print this?
silent auction was. That's how much we take.
Audrey.
Clearly not over 50.
Audrey printed it for
Audrey,
me.
you decided to print that for us, I'm like,
Yeah,
I
the
can't
smaller
even
the
see my
better,
glass.
right?
Magnifying
When you
glass.
say ticket sales, do you mean the additional
Yeah.
chips?
Drew, can you see that okay?
I can't. So what happened?
Can you hold it over there for me?
Audrey,
Right here, I can actually see it.
when you say additional
Like my readers
sales,
at home.
you mean
Those are the
chips?
rational, from the chips.
The $5.90.
Feeling confident today, are you?
I just get the first copy, but yeah, we can pass it around.
I find it looks like there's one street.
Can't live in denial.
Over there. Thomas needs to come in.
Squeeze in, Thomas.
We like it.
You're at the end.
We like it.
Everything is-
We hear about this.
We can pass those around. Think we have?
You can't leave, you gotta give a seat.
Everybody, everyone's excited to be here. Well, I'm glad everyone can be here. All right, guys, let's get started. We're running slightly late. Thank you, everybody, for coming and giving us your time. We really appreciate it. First thing first, let's approve the minutes from last time. We should have the minutes in front of us from Audrey, or she sent them in an email.
I sent him in an email.
Was there any issues with the minutes? Everyone's got lots of issues. Anyone want a motion to approve?
They were
They
in the
emailed.
email.
Audrey's
Did
email
not
came.
make copies.
I saw the email. I approved them.
You got a second?
Second.
There we go. We all good? Awesome. Okay. So let's go through, we have a couple things to discuss today. So let's go through the committee updates first. Let's try not to spend too much time on that because we have a lot to get through today. But let's go ahead and jump into that and what's coming up. Who wants to start?
Social committee.
Social committee.
Everybody have a good time at the campers party?
Yes.
Little rounds of applause, please. Social team, I think they did an outstanding job. We had a really great time, really good turnout. Apparently, this market center likes to dress up
Yeah, that was fun.
because the vast majority of people were in costume and everybody was just having a great time. We started on time. Actually, the thing didn't completely wind down till about midnight. And we earned, on the silent auction, we earned for KW shares $1,361. And for the additional chips that were sold to people as they ran out of money, we made another $590 for a total of $1,951 to KW shares.
That's great.
And I've been seeing people wear the camper badges
Yeah.
around the office.
I had a lot of people really like that because they say the hats are, a lot of people are like, I'll never wear that, but I'll actually wear the name tag.
Yeah, that's.
So, yeah, you have one. It's in your thing, and your.
It
It
was
was
at the party.
at the party.
It was at the party
It was
for
at the
you.
party,
And
yeah.
if anybody would like to fess up to which one of you backed into my car, go ahead. Do it now.
You never
I can give you.
It wasn't my car, it was a baseball bat.
Somebody backed into my car and put a huge dent in the rear bumper. Pretty much destroyed the rear bumper. I don't know who it was.
why I didn't say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go, go, go.
Well, I was the last person to leave, so.
Well, there was also that whole, the restaurant next door, so I could have.
Oh, I know, I'm just
And there was,
kidding.
yeah.
Guess it was Nico.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nico.
All right, anything else coming up on the social committee for
Yes,
us to
yes.
keep an eye on?
I'm proud to say that we came in right on budget for the capper party. We spent about $7,200. It worked out perfect, just the way we planned. And the Christmas party is going to be about $30,000.
30?
Yeah, about 30 because we're going to be at the Hellenic Center.
30?
It's going to be about $55 per person. We expect a bigger turnout this year because we have more room. We're not limited to 220 anymore. Now we have room for over 300. So we expect a bigger turnout. Plus, it's a new venue. I hear they have better food. And so we're going to need to pony up.
pony up, and maybe get some vendors to help with that too, is whatever we could do.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Pulaski's here, our theme for the party is going to be high school reunion, or high school graduation. Prom, that's the word I'm looking for. So you guys start looking for your senior year pictures.
From your decade.
We're gonna put those up and let people.
I actually can
guess.
still fit into my prom dress, so I'm good. Yeah,
That's what I heard.
Half of that, like, can you even find that anymore?
it'd be fun. Yeah, so you gotta find your era, that'll be a lot of fun.
We're not asking people to dress like that, but we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, we
Now
are.
we are.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Dress like you're
Oh
on.
my gosh,
Your
how am I gonna
decade,
find a
man.
blue crushed velvet tuxedo?
You'll get it.
Daisy's
By the way, everyone,
trouble.
I want to announce that I've never been to prom, so this is going to be my real prom.
Oh, so
Oh.
make it the way you always.
You never got asked?
It's going to be my real prom.
I never got asked.
I never got out. I didn't go.
I'm not asking. But this will be cool. This will be really fun. It's different, it's new, it's fresh, and people are gonna be very excited about it. Leslie Goen is going to head that subcommittee.
Awesome.
All right.
Anything else from them? All right, that's social, who else we got? Tech, you're sitting next to you, go to social, sure.
I don't want anything to report.
Everything's.
Tech class went really good. A lot of people had.
That tech class did an awesome, good job, guys. That was a lot of fun in the room, that was good, great job.
I mean, I wish we could do something more like that more often. It's just a lot of time to prep.
Yeah.
And so
It is.
if we can do something, I know you guys are holding the tech classes already, but something big like that, I think maybe like once a quarter would be significant.
Yeah, as the plan for a training schedule, as compliance, everything's compliance right now because that transition's gonna be coming up. As that happens this month, we're gonna look a lot more twice a week, different aspects of command that we could bring to the training calendar. But we're just focusing on compliance right now because we don't wanna freak everyone out as we go through that. But yes, that's planning a couple times a week is different aspects of command that we'll bring. Awesome. All right.
Did you get like an influx in those classes after that?
The first one we did, and then it's back to what it was. I mean, we have it on Fridays. It's not the best day to do the command training class because, as agents, you know, Friday at 2:30, we've already been off for 4 hours.
Miller
So,
time.
yeah. So we'll look at that as a different time for training, but we still get a decent amount of people that come in.
Do you know how many people attended that event?
We had, I think, over 75 RSVPs.
There was a
And
lot.
people showed up that didn't RSVP.
The room was packed.
The room was full and
Yeah,
there
we were
was
packed
a lot
all the way
here.
outside.
So you were overflowing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'd say
definitely
over 75 people.
I would say at least 70, between 70 and maybe 80.
No. Very cool.
Was there any
social
good
cares?
feedback? Sorry, can I say?
I didn't get any negative or anything it was just a lot of fun, a lot of energy, a lot of excitement, which was fun.
When somebody had mentioned they were sorry they missed it, but it was on Facebook Live,
Yeah.
right? So it's recorded
Yeah,
somewhere. in
a
our-
lot of people said they watched it online.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did anyone get any feedback on the people that, like, the individual coaches that were able to like sit down with them and kind of help them? No one said anything?
Actually, I'm gonna give my feedback. They did an amazing job, guide us through the things that we don't understand.
Yeah.
It helps us to be,
Right, like to stay in aligned,
Right.
because instead of
Right.
interrupting the teacher, there was someone there to,
Yes.
okay, just wanted to see if that was helpful.
yes, it was really helpful.
Okay.
Is there anything else coming up on the radar we need to look at, or we're good for now?
That took my energy for the year, man. I'm drained.
Okay.
No, we'll talk about it next tech.
Okay, next meeting, okay. Karis? I'm just going in order.
You were?
Well,
Yeah, we're going around.
they're already done.
Okay, got it. So we talked about, golf tournament coming up October 21st, okay? That'll be promoted here. We've been part of that for the last, I think, 3-4 years. We're supporting the veterans, okay? And so anyway, signups will be at the front desk. And then the big thing we're really talking about is we're getting ready for our food drive, okay, which will be, pretty much we'll be collecting all the month of November, okay, and we're gonna be storing it around probably here in front, just to make sure it's visual. But, last year, I mean, it's getting bigger every year, so, just need everybody's support. Hopefully, training will get involved and.
Yeah, we'll tie that in with Drew. That's door knocking, easy 101. We gotta make sure we really highlight that.
The first year we did that, it was like amazing how much stuff we had. So we will need food. Last year, we had a supplement with, I think, $500 a kid that carries money.
Okay.
Because we didn't feel we had enough.
Yeah.
And it was all gone,
Yeah.
pretty much. So.
Okay. We'll be able to coordinate that between
Yeah.
CARES, maybe with the coaching program, just so we know, and then we'll do maybe a door knocking specialized class in October.
Yeah, it's a perfect
Just a
opportunity.
build door knocking class, and we'll use this as an opportunity. We could do bags, we'll do an event. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay, so in October, door knocking class.
And then, obviously, and we won't discuss December yet, but we got plans, like we do every year, as far as the toy drive and thing.
Awesome.
Okay? And we'll probably coordinate that with, last year, they brought toys to the Christmas party. And they gave it, so we'll talk about that.
Okay.
That's it.
Very cool. Growth?
Basically, we have a couple of things going on. One, we started Toastmasters, bilingual in the east side, and it's going pretty well.
Yeah, I watched you guys live for a while. It was good yesterday.
Yes. I missed it yesterday. I kinda got sick from some food that I ate at lunchtime, but I was not able to make it. But we had about 8 or 10 people in there last night, and the meeting before we have about 15 people. So it's growing. It's going pretty well. I'm also seeing with some of the agents that we have in the east side, and also talking to some of the agents over here in the west side. They need help recruiting or talking to other agents from other companies that I'm going to meet up with them. That's why we have to do it with some of the agents up there. We got about 4 agents already that I'm putting other agents underneath their pipeline. So that way they can start building their pipeline. The whole idea is for most of the people that get into the growing committee to start having at least 50 people under their pipeline. Also in October, we are probably gonna have our own Halloween costume going on over there on the east side. And that way we can use that as a recruitment tool for other companies. I don't have the dates with me right now, but I will shoot it up to you guys. I think it's in my minutes. And in November, we wanna do some agents appreciation, where we're gonna probably bring food from different, everybody's gonna bring their own plate and stuff like that. So that's another thing that we're trying to have going on, just to start being able to get more agents from other companies
Great idea.
into
Like
the
a
east
potluck.
side and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's what we have going on
There
so
was a
far.
guy at the Toastmaster meeting last night from another agency.
Yeah, it's great.
Yes.
All those things are great, building relationships and stuff. It's a great idea.
And that's all we were trying to do, building a
Is there-
relationship right now.
Is there anyone on the committee that's from the West Side office?
We have,
Someone?
yeah, we have
Okay.
one of the girls.
So I would love to do that agent
Uh,
appreciation in November, as you guys do a big party over there. We could support you in that, but we could also do one over here, find past client, agents that we've worked with, as a thank you, we could send them an invite for you doing business with us. We're having a thank you brunch, come by and say hi or whatever.
Yeah, we have a Stephanie, I don't remember the last name, but,
Bethel?
Yes.
Stephanie, okay.
she's,
What time do this Toastmasters meet?
It's gonna be every Wednesday at 6 o'clock, from 6 to 7:30. Right now, it's all in English, but we're trying to eventually start doing it bilingual. Some of the agents last meeting, one of them was talking in Spanish, and it was very creative and very unusual, because we were all talking in English, and all of a sudden she started saying things in Spanish, so it made it unique, it made it different. I had the chance to kind of look at the words that they were saying and checking the words that they were saying wrong. So it was kind of complicated when we went from English to Spanish, but we made it happen.
That's cool. That's great.
It's gonna be a big plus though for that club,
Yeah.
because that's what's drawing some people to it, because they wanna work on their Spanish.
Yeah. That's great. Very cool. Finance.
We've had some CPA classes and,
That seemed to be a pretty big hit. A lot of good
Yeah.
feedback on that with,
He's really good
yeah, with Steve.
With Steve Forshine.
Yeah.
And we have meetings coming up, but Audrey will go over the numbers, which are really good. We're doing awesome, so.
Awesome.
The budget is next month, I believe. We
The
did
budget
budget
class?
through MREA.
Yeah, I did the MRE one. It's like
That was
a
great because it was a
mastermind. I
smaller
loved it,
group and it
yeah.
was around the table. That was
Yeah.
perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was really good.
So we have
Yeah, we
budgeting
just kinda
and-
did like a book study
Yeah.
of the budget model, so.
Is there any profit share classes? I know we're doing it once a quarter. Is there any
It's in
profit?
December.
It's in December, is the next one?
We had one recently, didn't we?
Had one in August.
August was
So
that-
we're
we just had
doing one quarterly,
Yep.
so
Right.
the October's budget, business planning clinic
It's
is in November,
That's the
so
one.
we're combining
Okay.
that for goal setting for next year. And then in December is the profit share conference.
The business planning day is not too late on November. We supposed to have to start working.
October.
On
Yeah,
October.
normally October is when you set your things. We already have it
I
planned.
think that
We
was
got
the
date.
only time
It's,
that we're.
yeah, Rob's coming in to
Yeah.
teach it again. We're looking, we'd love to go off-site because we have too many people. We could fit about 50 in here with tables. I love if we go off-site and we have too many people. If we all invite one outside agent, we already need to go off-site, right?
It's a good opportunity.
So it's a
to invite.
great opportunity to invite people. Hey, it's a business planning clinic. We're looking at, it's probably gonna be some sort of fee, $25, but if you bring someone, we'll pay for your fee or whatever. We'll figure something out like that. I know we've done that in the past. But I would love to go off-site and have food and make it a fun event, but we need to make sure we have enough people going to it. If we only have 50, we'll have it in here, and we'll have a sponsor, and it'll just be a free thing, but I would love to have 100 over at the, the Missy Suites, or
Maybe
we have it nice
start
there.
announcing that at the
Yep.
office meeting.
So we'll start doing that this month, the business planning, invite a friend, invite whoever to come to that, because it is a great class, so.
RSVP. and that
Yep.
way we can get ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
Do a promo video of Rob doing.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we use it.
And we put it out there in RSVP. It doesn't have to be a KW thing. It's a business planning clinic thing, which is great. Safety.
Okay, with the safety, we're still working on the front door keypad. Audrey, you have contact, did we get that invoice?
The bid did not come in,
Did not.
no,
We were supposed to get that yesterday, but it didn't,
well, this morning, but.
even this morning, so we didn't get that. We're still working on that. I do have something that I wanted to, this has nothing to do with the ALC though. But, in regards to, agents from other offices having their office, like in Pampa List, I'm saying, and have office here as well. And we know we need offices for agents that way to get an office. And even from other offices that wants to join Californians. So, I don't know which other committees have to talk about it, but I think that should not be happening. What do you guys think?
So you're talking about just agents. So from my understanding, there's only one agent, right, that has 2 offices. And that was done through Sam. So we'll speak to Sam about that and what the regards are. We currently do not have anyone waiting for an office.
I have talked to Sam about it, and he said to bring it over to
To the
ALC.
ALC. Okay. So the reality is when we do have someone that's waiting for the office, that is gonna be the first one that's gonna be used. Typically, that office is not one that anyone wants when it's shown. So until that happens, I mean, we'll go from there. But yeah, there's a couple, if we have a recruit or someone that needs to come in and they're wanting an office, that is the first one that's going to become available.
There is agents who need offices right now.
Who?
Annabelle is one of them.
They don't want an office. I approached them about an office that came available. They were next on the list. They decided not to take an office.
Do we have a list?
Yes.
So we
Everyone
should-
on the list that was on the list has currently an office. We currently do not have anyone waiting for an office. We have 3 people waiting for cubicles. So,
And they are aware of that, they need to
They-
move around it,
yeah, so if one comes available, that's the one, when you need one, that's gonna happen.
So if I bring an agent right now, whether it's from within the office or outside the office from another company.
As long, yeah, as long as their production, they're a capper, because you have to be a capper to get an
Right.
office, and they want an office, yes. Or if it's someone that's coming that we're trying to recruit and they need an office, yes.
so they have to qualify.
Yeah.
It's okay, it's not, you don't just get an office, and you don't just get a cubicle, and they say you qualify for it.
So what if someone is coming with the same idea, okay, can I get an office here then, since you don't have nobody in the waiting list? Can you still
They
continue
need to
doing that?
have the care.
What do you mean, if someone at the east side wants another office over here too?
Yeah, from any other offices that we have.
No, I mean, you have your one office and that's your one office, and this situation was a little bit unique because as they brought in a capper, he was going to use that office and they were keeping it. That capper has used it a few times, he's not there that often. It's Heidi's office, he uses it with them, so it's kind of a split office that they still are part of. So it isn't just, it's a unique situation that they talked to Sam about beforehand.
It was more like an expansion of the
Yeah.
thing.
There is a capper that uses that office. He works, he does dual career and he works right here, he came from another company. He's not in there that often though.
Makes sense.
We have office space in Acton.
Yeah.
Just opened up, huh?
Just opened up,
Yeah.
it's beautiful, nice and quiet, we're super nice. Yeah.
That's what goes
Just
in.
saying.
That's good, if you know someone that's
And
in
it's
Acton that
11,
needs
it's
an office
11 minutes
space.
away.
Okay, going back
Thank
to
you.
safety real quick, since this taking forever, it's taking a whole year almost to get the front doors issued. If we can rekey the office temporarily, it's gonna cost around $500 typically. Because we've been getting this key and there's so many keys out there for the last 16 years,
Yeah.
the same key. And it's getting to the point like, how many cameras? Yes, we have 26 cameras now. But I don't know, still don't know how long it's gonna take, and it's been like the whole year battling.
It seems like we almost have to get a new door. Like, that seems to be the feedback,
Yeah,
right?
that's $10,000.
The guy I talked to the other day didn't seem to have a problem with our door.
Yeah.
It needs to be a mag lock though, because it's dual opening, and that might be pricey,
Yeah.
okay, so.
I do think we need to make that investment.
Yeah,
The
but in the,
bare minimum, we need to rekey, but I prefer just to, like, we know, like, it's gonna be $6,000, let's just do it, and then we're done. You know what I mean? But we don't know, right?
we don't know the
We
price
don't
yet.
know, it's been, what, 8 months that I'm trying to get people to give us something,
Yeah.
and they all come out with like, no. So, can we
her-
at least get the rekey
So
right
do
now?
you guys wanna look at that as if we don't have resolution by the end of the month, we just do the rekey?
Can we vote?
So it's $500 to rekey the front door and the back door?
No, just the front door.
Just the front door.
And it's mainly the cost of making the keys.
Okay, that was
Okay,
my,
that's like
You can bring up
300 or
and say, just
400
give me your key,
keys.
here's the new key.
Yeah,
do we need them?
so,
If-
plus, something we have to take into, account also is, which not everybody knows, so I don't like to share it, but I will share it with you guys. The East Palmdale office is keyed to our key. Okay, so we may need to rekey them too, so that they don't have to carry 2 keys, right? Acton is on its own key as well, and we're probably better off just rekeying those 3 offices to the same key. Cause like even Scott
So
Cooper
there's
brought
only
up
like 30, 40 agents there?
at East
That's
East
Palmdale.
Palmdale, yeah.
But the reason
No,
that we have
no,
the
but
same-
the point is,
Rekey,
Carlos wants to come over here and pick up his mail,
right.
and he has to have a whole nother key now.
No,
To get-
I think that it should be rekey as well.
Okay.
Do you guys, anyone else, thoughts on this?
Our,
No.
I'm just
just wondering, does that $500 put us that much farther away from whatever the cost is for the door?
I feel like it's a
Right, right,
Band-Aid.
right.
It's a Band-Aid for a bigger issue that we need to, I mean, yeah, we might need to put a Band-Aid on if it's gonna be
It's not
a
that
long
big a
time,
deal
but.
carrying 2 keys.
I'm just saying,
right now.
why don't we just really focus on getting the keypad like we all wanted to do?
And I also get that there's like, I guess, a concern around it, but I don't know. I can't think for everybody, I can think for me, and I wonder, have we had any issue
Yeah, have we
looking at
had
our
a
cameras
bunch
and anyone coming in here that shouldn't be? Or are we
Can I
just,
say something?
are we,
So we're waiting for that
are we
issue.
just like anticipating the possibility?
First.
Okay, so anticipating the possibility because the one time that it happens, everyone's gonna be upset.
That's true.
We don't
It
want
could
any-
be your
I don't-
assistant. who
My
gets
house has never been
robbed.
broken
It could
into,
be-
but I lock my doors every night. Because
It's
the
prevention,
one time it
that's all it
happens
is.
is gonna be bad.
Yeah, I haven't know, everybody has their own.
And it-
Because it hasn't been done in a long time?
It's never been done, 16 years.
16 years, the same key,
It's
and
older
we
than
are
me.
not able to collect the key from people who have left the office.
So really, the keypad is what we all agreed we wanted to do
Keypad.
originally, and we're just waiting on the price on this last person. Whereas what you're saying though is if it's not gonna happen with the keypad, we could do this instead, but I feel like that's kind of a Band-Aid approach.
So
Yeah,
with
we
that, here's the
That's
thing,
the keypad.
we don't know when the heck this is gonna get solved. We have
Well,
no
it's
clue,
been a
so if it's another year from now.
But why would it be a year? I mean,
Well, it's been a lot longer than we anticipated in the first place.
Is there
we
any
just
other-
got quotes that were more expensive, but if we look at it and we find one that's reasonable.
Well, the thing is that there is something up in the air that we might even get the front redone and spend it. I don't know if you know
I
this.
don't know if it's gonna happen. And that's another long.
That's not gonna
range.
happen.
What's
So,
what's the
it's
budget,
gonna
what's the
happen.
budget for a door right now? Is there a budget?
It's, I mean, up to you guys, we've been waiting for quotes, we haven't really got any quotes in front of
But we
us.
did get some quotes, right?
No.
Some,
No, it
well,
was a wrong door, they
It was a
couldn't
wrong
do
door.
it, yeah.
They could
we
do it and
we
they could
couldn't do it.
Just wonder if we take that quote and add $500 to it, how close are we?
Okay, so here you are.
I don't know.
You have, the equipment itself is gonna be at least $1,000, just for the front door. And that was just for a keypad. I don't know how much the mag locks are that they're talking about, okay? We do have the electricity solved because there is a plug up front, near the front door that we can access. It doesn't have to be on a separate breaker or anything. So the pulling the wire was a
Right,
big
remember you said
question
that
mark
was-
for a while, but we did find that there is electricity that can be used up there. So, you know, it could be $5,000. To replace the doors is like $10,000, okay? And we still have to put in the keypad. So,
So it costs $500 to rekey, if someone got in
So there you go.
here
That,
and.
that puts it in a
Hold
little
on,
more
let's-
perspective, that's what I was
Hold on,
looking for.
Is there anything else that we could put on the front door temporarily? Like weld bar,
a chain,
not a chain,
yeah.
that looks kind of tacky,
no.
but some other type of sophisticated, because if they really want it in, they could break the glass. But it's not bulletproof,
If
right?
they really want it in, they could pull really hard.
And so that's what I'm saying is there something
No
else,
kidding.
some mechanism, something that we could
Crowbar
secure
opener.
that door with an additional lock?
Yeah, but then we have to get rid of
Temporary.
a key again,
No, well,
to get in, after
that's
hours, we
true.
have to let people in.
Yeah.
But-
or with a
Those
combo.
metal drop gates that they have at the mall.
With a combo on it. Something could be fabricated.
I feel like
And-
That's
then we're
gonna
gonna
cost
get, it just looks tacky, we're trying to, I don't know.
I know, it does.
If we have some sort of, I'd rather just rekey for $500 and then go through the process of giving everyone a new key if this is going to be 6 months. But we may have a quote today, right?
Yeah, we may have a quote today,
That
and
we
it
can
may
agree on
be
next month.
within reason. I mean, we could even do a
So do
special
you guys wanna,
call.
I'll pull this till next month,
Yeah.
business will be until next month, if we don't have the quote, then we put the quote.
Can you email it?
We could email
Yeah.
a motion out to everybody.
And then if we agree, we wanna go through that once we get it, and if we don't get it by next month, then let's just get the thing rekeyed.
Yeah.
That would be
By
like
the-
the
by the
test
way-
company.
By the way, you know, I came over on Sunday after church because I was gonna meet up with my wife in here, and that way we didn't have to drive 2 cars to Lancaster. And we had to be careful with the lending side, because when I was sitting in my car, I saw the agent coming in and out from the office, but the lending door was like moving with the wind, so I'm like, So I went over there, and guess what? It was wide open and there was nobody there.
Well, that goes back to negligence on the person that left.
So we have to be careful
Nothing
with
we
that.
can do if they don't lock them.
That's why we're trying to fix these doors, you guys, and then, we've been.
Well,
When we do the
Their
code,
door's
they're
supposed
doing
to be
theirs as
locked.
well. Their codes are gonna be updated, they're paying for it on their side. When we do it, they said they'd agree to it.
Okay.
Okay, well,
That's
is that what you guys wanna do? Does someone make a motion to just
Motion to
rekey
table.
it now, or you wanna put it on the table?
Let's vote and rekey, please.
Okay, so does someone wanna, she wants to vote to rekey it now. Anyone wanna,
Or rekey it now and not wait for the bid that
The
could
bid
come
might come in
later
today.
But it's still not gonna happen right away.
Why don't we get the bids today and let's vote next week on this? I mean, next month, next meeting.
Yeah.
So,
It's been a lot of years like that, I don't know that it's
Table it.
compared to today.
so have you ever heard about skydiving? The more you jump out of the plane and you're safe, the higher the odds are that go up that your parachute's not gonna open on the next jump.
they
still
jump out of planes.
I, personally, I think we can probably wait to see what the bid is.
Yeah.
Before we actually rekey. So if somebody wants to make a motion to
It's been made.
that
It's been
effect.
seconded.
It's been made. I mean, you
Uh,
can always
I-
send
I
out
was
all the
gonna say, I
emails
would
and
make a
bid
motion
it
to
in, we'll
wait.
hold off.
Yeah.
Till
Okay.
the end of the day.
Alright, so we're gonna wait until we get this bid in the next couple days. If we do not, we'll send it out. Hey, we didn't get it back, or it's too expensive, we're gonna look at rekeying.
Right.
Let's just do that, it doesn't even have to be.
So can we put a
There we go.
date on it that we need to vote?
By the end of the
By
month,
Friday.
if we don't have anything, what's today, the 20th?
By Friday.
What's today?
I would say
Today's the
by Friday.
19th? So that gives us a week. If we don't have it by then, we'll rekey.
Okay, let's put a date on it, so that way
October first.
October 1st, if we don't have a bid in place, we rekey.
Okay.
Done. Got it. Okay.
Career.
Career.
All right.
Before you go to career, I think this is, has to go hand in hand by safety. And it was brought to my attention by Audrey that in our campus party, everybody enjoyed themselves. And some of them over extra enjoyed themselves. So we should see a way that how we can make sure our agents go safely to their homes after the party if they drink a lot.
Making sure that we have like an Uber crew or something, calling Ubers for people or something like that from the office.
Yeah,
We
we
know
all
we
can't
even
even
know
know.
they can't even.
We're all adults, we can make our own.
Everybody has Uber out.
I understand what you're saying, but then it's someone has to be responsible for someone else, and then
Yeah, but I don't think we should touch that.
I don't. Yeah.
Because we're at a venue and they're liable for them for serving, not us.
So, I am in charge of risk for the company.
Right.
If you get into an accident after going to a Keller Williams event and somebody's suing somebody, you know that our company is gonna be included with your own name in there, okay? So, we have to be careful on,
I think it's
we can discuss this later, but I think there needs to be a cutoff time for drinking, just like if you go to the ball game.
Yep.
They cut it off in the 8th inning or whatever,
I think it just
right?
as leadership too, we need to be cognitive of it, and if we see someone, we need to be.
Are you
And
driving?
shame on the
Are they
bartender
are them? Are there? Are they?
as well.
So I bartended for a long time. People act perfectly normal, and then all of a sudden they are hammered, and you had no idea because they went to someone else, and then that you. It's not always super obvious.
Well, a lot of
Just to
people
add
are
to that,
okay and they
I've
have
been
one
working for
refrigerator.
Albertsons for 40 years.
Trash.
The last 20 years, we were not allowed at any party under Albertsons name because there was a major lawsuit against the company. And just because they said, this is an Albertsons Christmas party,
Yeah.
it was millions.
And we need to consider something before the winter game.
Right.
Okay, so.
Yeah, I mean,
We
it's something to
can
be aware
discuss
of.
it in the social committee too.
Yeah.
There's
Ways to be.
There are ways to do it.
Yeah.
You know, we can always have somebody out front
Safety.
asking everybody that comes by, do you need an Uber?
Yeah.
We'll collect their keys when they come in.
That's an idea.
That's a bad idea.
I don't
People
know.
are like, wrong kind of party. Like, ooh, keys did I get? All right.
I've never been to one of those.
I have me neither.
12 cars in the parking
All
lot.
right, let's keep going, guys.
I got somebody's out here.
Career development.
Redevelopment, we'll be fast, because no, we're not gonna be fast.
Yeah, you take
Okay.
your time.
Everybody on your calendar, October 14th, write it down, 11 o'clock. We're gonna have first of all, we had a great open house training center that was fantastic. We had guest speakers that came in, it was fun. But on the 14th, we're gonna do a class that's called Ho 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 Holiday Leverage.
I like
Okay? Which highlights some of the Popeye ideas that we can do for staying on top of mind for holiday. And this is including Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. And we're kind of come up with some ideas of how to stay top of mind with those Popeyes. Like, even your kids could get involved in this, because can you imagine if some of us agents, you want to do a Popeye, but you don't have time to bag up something? We can maybe implore some of our kids. We can do mistletoe that is bagged up. I can go up to Tehachapi or wherever and get pine cones, put cinnamon in them, put them in a nice bag. And if you are not available or you can't do it, you could come and buy them for a couple bucks from the kids or whoever's in here making those, and some ideas. The gift wrapping thing with the tape. Rita did that last year and it worked out great. We do that, but we could do those as well. And agents that don't have the time, they could maybe implore some of our kids that can come in here in this room and make some things.
Child labor, I love it.
Exactly, and then you can grab a couple of those and do Popeyes, but give the ideas in that. And then
Good idea.
Rita came up with a fantastic idea, and they need everybody's support and maybe some money. We want to do Santa Claus in this room on December 7th and the 14th. And deck it out and have a Santa here, have the presents and everything.
Wait,
And so
December 7th is our winter gala.
during the day.
December 7th is it's on a Saturday?
Yes.
Well, we can switch the day, but listen, the
We'll do
idea
the day.
is,
We'll do Sunday, yeah.
the idea is, you know how ridiculous the lines are for Santa in
Yeah,
the
it's
mall.
not-
So now is an opportunity for you to contact your clients and say, come in and get your picture with Santa. We're gonna have a professional photographer here, we already got someone in mind. He'll be able to print everything right here, then and there. We can hand that to him, and wouldn't that be a great way to contact your clients? Hey,
Great idea.
bring your kids into Keller Williams because we've got Santa here. And we can do it all day on those days, whatever those days are gonna be.
Seven and
Pardon
14.
Is that the 14th?
Seven and 14.
Can we do what?
Okay, let's get back on track, guys. We're running low on time here.
December.
You're gonna be Santa?
October 14th at 11.
We got,
It's 11 is the class.
But December 7th and 14th, we're gonna change the date.
I like
We
the
can
idea
talk.
we could deck it all out.
Deck it all
Yeah,
out.
we have a
We'll
Christmas
have
tree, we'll be
candy
good.
canes for the kids, and it's an idea for you to connect with your
A reason to
clients.
call your clients.
And they don't have to wait a long line.
Great idea.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay. All right, let's continue on, because we are gonna, I knew that was gonna take a little bit. Let's just jump into the Market Center vital signs, because we're gonna be way behind.
Okay, vital signs, looks like this one, says vital signs scorecard on it. Okay, we had a great month. I highlighted down at the bottom, our company dollars was 212. Our expenses were 91. Profit share was 56, that's to the agent profit share pool, and owner profit 60,000. The reason we have pink means that we did not hit our goal. And just so you know, the goal for August was 241, which was last year's actual. And then expense was actually supposed to be like 85,000, but we were at 91, so. But we had a good month on that. If you look at the key metrics, which looks like this one, this will compare year over year. So you'll see last August we were at 241. This August we were at 212. And then we were better on our expenses than last year. Last year we had 131 in approved expenses and we only had 94, okay? Which meant our profit was higher, right?
Yeah.
So my little lesson for you today is make sure you go through your expenses in your own financials and make sure that you cut the fat, okay? What in your expenses that you're paying for that you don't need, or maybe cut back on it,
Like
okay?
electricity, running the air.
No, like lead
Freezing.
maybe you're paying for leads and you really don't need to, or maybe there's a different way that you can make
No,
that
like,
happen,
I'm
or you
talking
can get
about the
a
company.
sponsored vendor, a vendor sponsor to, part of being on the ALC is for us at the Market Center to help you with your business, right? So, this is my little thing, check your expenses. As I was telling an agent the other day, we're in a 10-year cycle, right? We're in the 11th year of a 10-year cycle. We don't know what's gonna be happening in the future. We have a presidential election coming up next year. We don't know if we're gonna still have Defense Department funding, if things change. So, watch your expenses, save your money, okay? And that's what we're working on doing here as well. I wanna show you on this page, which is our income statement for the office. So the last 2 months we're not even. Eliana knows about this, okay? So in July we were heavy on listings and we lost buyer income. Last month we were, or actually June was, July was heavy on buyer income and lighter on the listing side. August we were even. So, and the way you can tell that is where I marked in the first 2 lines in the pink. I don't know, you can't see the pink on yours, but we were even on listings sold, and sales sold, okay? That's a healthy indication, okay? We're getting the listings, we're getting the buyers. We exceeded our referral income. So our budget was 40,000 and we had 47,000 in referral income. So that means that you're asking for that referral business when you refer out business to somebody else. And that's fantastic. We wanted to go over 2 million this month in our goals in income, and we were about 300 short, but we still had a profitable month over 200,000. So,
Very good.
good month.
Good. Very much.
All right, and Rachel's gonna come back in, and I have to go to an appointment, and I love you all. Keep doing good.
Miss you.
Thank you so much for your
Thank you,
help.
Audrey.
I think we
Okay. All right, so this is supposed to say, it says committee update again. It's supposed to be ALC update. That was my fault. So Audrey, before you go, the ALC clinic date.
November 21st and 22nd, it is a Thursday and Friday, the weeks before Thanksgiving.
They just have to go to the one day, though, the Friday, right?
They go to the Friday.
The Friday,
So
the
the
22nd.
22nd, Friday the 22nd is the ALC clinic. It'll be at the LAX Marriott again.
Just like it was last time.
And there is, if anybody's interested, they have a block of rooms right now through regional. If you decide you want to come down the night before, it's only $100 a night for a room at the Marriott. So let me know if that's something you want to do, and then we can get it reserved for you.
What time is that?
It's all day.
It's an all day.
You gotta be there like at
Yeah,
9.
we start like at 9.
I did last year.
Yeah, we all do. It is a required thing as ALC. So
21st.
with that, I do want to ask is for next year, who is not planning on continuing? Raise your hands, guys. If you are not planned on continuing with the ALC next year, that's perfectly fine. I just need to make sure I have who's going out. 1, 2,
Raise your hand higher,
3, 4,
John.
5, 6. So you guys are not
You too, Paul.
planning to be on ALC next year.
You are not
Yeah.
planning?
No, no. I've been on 3 years consecutively. And you have been on for longer than I have. And you have been on for longer than I have, so. How
Where are you going?
Who else? Can I?
So it's Friday.
No, Friday is
Friday the
usually
22nd.
or Saturday or Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, Thursdays.
Okay, so Rose, Mike, Tom, Carlos, Michelle,
in the morning.
Doreen, and Sylvia. Okay, so you guys don't worry about obviously.
I'll probably have to be in there.
So don't worry obviously about the ALC, that clinic. That's why I wanted to ask.
Okay.
And so in that case, the ALC needs to be, our office is size 9 to 12 people saying that. So we have currently 13, I believe. 13. So who are people that we think we should approach about would be a good fit for the ALC?
For me,
Consuelo.
Jason,
We did great for that.
Jason Chapman. Who else? Who else do we think?
I think
Yeah.
Jessica Dixon would be great,
Jessica
but I
Dixon.
don't think she will do it.
I don't think she'll do it.
Yeah, she'll do that.
Yep.
For me, Veronica Gonzalez.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Veronica
And
Donato.
Blanca de Leon.
Blanca?
Yeah.
No, not Blanca.
If we,
What about,
we
Am
did
I allowed to
video,
say no, not Blanca?
we could like Skype in,
about-
would that, would you wanna do that? Cause I would, if not, who would the rich, I love someone from each office.
yeah.
So if you don't, which is okay, is there someone else that might video chat in to be represented? Okay, let me know.
What about Alejandro?
Alejandro Rosales. Alex.
Yeah, you do, the requirements are, you have to be in the top 20%, I'm not
Did you get this first year?
So far, Catherine's.
no, he's not a Catholic.
No, he's
I don't think he's quite qualified,
He
on-
probably will.
Anthony Aguilar.
who?
Anthony.
Antoinette.
Antoinette?
That'd be a good one.
Any other ideas? I don't know if any of these people are gonna wanna do it or not, I just people that,
Rima?
if she's done it in the
Busy
past.
though.
Rima had done it.
She's done it in the past, so we could ask.
Kathy Bayer, yeah,
Yeah.
she
How
caps
about
every year.
Tiffany George?
What about Aaron
Organized.
Rust?
Tiffany.
Who?
Aaron Rust?
Yeah.
Andrew Rust would be good.
Mhm.
What about Tanya?
Kenya.
Tanya?
Yeah, Chinese.
Tiffany?
Yeah.
Right.
Tiny Castillo.
Tiffany George.
She's got cap this year, right?
Tiffany George as well?
She's close. She, Capper?
Yeah, she's in great.
Okay, so we have a good list here. Is there anyone on here that we absolutely missing that would be a part, she's a part of a team now, so she would be, she could do it, but I don't think the production's still there to qualify.
Do you put Tanya Castillo?
Tanya put on there, yeah. Who else am I missing here?
Leslie Gowen, possibility. I think she's been on it before.
She
She
has,
was asked this year,
Right.
and she didn't want to.
Yeah.
You should.
we could always ask. Okay,
Just out of curiosity.
that's a big list, so.
How many of them are men and how many are women?
There's a ton of women. There's a ton of women, but in real estate, if
one
we
You go, girl.
There's two guys, if Otto, I think Otto and Veronica are
And
together.
then how many are under the age of 35?
100.
There's a few,
Okay.
there's a few.
Just want to make sure we're represented on both ends, all the way
That's true.
through, young, old, everything.
What about non-binary? I'll represent them.
There you go.
Don't mind me.
Okay, so we're good on that. Not up there. Okay, so and then for next year, this year, we're supposed to be going through the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. We have about 10 minutes, we're supposed to keep going with this. We were supposed to do 2 a meeting, we're still on 6. We have not gotten very far. We still have a few more meetings, we'll still get through some of this, we're gonna get through at least 1 today, we have a few more meetings to get 1. I like this book a lot, I think it's great, but I wanted to bring to you guys for next year who are going to be on ALC next year, an option. We keep going with this, but then the new people will be starting at a different time, but that's okay, because we can just keep going. Or we could bring in, I don't know if you guys have read Never Split the Difference, it's a negotiating book, it's fantastic, and they give chapters that we could go through each time of strategies of negotiating. It's a hostage negotiator for the FBI, who's done some crazy negotiations, but it relates to the business world. It's a great book. So I wanted options for the people that are gonna be on the ALC that might, wanna finish this by ourselves, or you see because we're gonna be at like chapter 10, and we have new people coming in that are gonna go to 11, which is okay.
I think we should finish what we started.
Okay, let's vote for that.
Yeah.
Yep, we're good? Keep going?
I just finished that other one, that's
This,
awesome. Book.
this is probably my favorite book I've read in the last 2 or 3 years, because it's just the writer, it's cool stories, it's a negotiation story, but that's okay, I just wanted to bring the option. It's a good book, huh?
Thanks for that.
Yeah, so we're good. Good, awesome. Okay, the last thing on here I wanted to speak about and brought up was when I was gone last time, the ALC, you guys discussed voting in some stuff when all the ALC members weren't here. And to be honest, I didn't love all of it, and so I wanted to bring it up and kind of discuss really everything was with name tags for associates that are coming in, And I kinda wanted to just get the overall feel, and a couple people came to me and there was maybe not a good discussion around it, I guess. So I wanted to bring that up. So I guess there were some issues with some vendors. We asked them to put on a name tag when vendors are in, because we have preferred vendors and other vendors come in to meet with our clients, but then we find them still running around talking to every agent and bugging them. So we asked that they have name tags on, correct? We all agree it was a good idea.
Yes.
But then the second, for vendors. But then the second part, where the part where I kind of was like, wait, what? If we're in a conference room with the client and the wife has to use the restroom, we need to now leave our other client and get a name tag on them and walk them to the restroom, is that?
Wait outside.
And wait outside the restroom?
I didn't vote on that, that's a no.
Okay, so that's what came out, and then that's where I wanted clarification, because that seemed odd and not odd.
It's odd, I mean, if you're in your office and the wife has to
The
go to the
conversation that
bathroom.
we
I wasn't
have-
here.
Okay, the conversation that we have on the last meeting is that every agent or every client that came to the office have a name tag and put under the name of the agent that they are with. So when we see them around on the hallways, looking for the button, we know
Who they are.
who they are and where
So-
are we.
I still think we're getting not an inclusive, loving environment. That feels odd to me. If I had to walk in somewhere like, who are you, and their name, and okay, you have to stick, it just seems like we're not, and I don't think it's gonna continue. Agents are gonna be like, just ignore them, come in with me. Like, I don't see it something we need to enforce.
I haven't seen one person with a name tag on.
To be honest,
When we did
I
that-
told the staff to hold on this because I was like, wait, what? Let's talk this through because I didn't quite understand it.
It seems like.
But the vendors
We're
should.
holding the customer accountable to the vendor standards.
Yes.
Why?
Yeah, they're our customer, they're our
Yeah.
clients. If I had clients, I don't want the
Trust us.
front desk.
Can you put
The
this
lock
name
box
badge
is
on
on
the
their
place?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, that's.
I wouldn't want my clients to do that personally. I understand why we have people wanting through, we want to know who everyone is, I get it, but I think locking these two doors, we have a good feeling. And I walk around this building a lot every day. I'm telling you, I'm here more than anybody, besides maybe Tom. And I walk different ways and I just say hi to people, and I can't remember more than maybe twice where I've seen a random person like, oh, where's the front desk and
Yeah, I think
the
that's
two
a
beers.
non-issue. I
This
think
whole
that's a
discussion
non-issue.
was on the heels of a vendor.
A vendor. And
Yeah.
vendors,
And-
I'm all
and
for
got-
it.
yeah,
I
well,
think the vendor,
Got locked in an office, the whole thing.
yeah, I'm
Well,
all
I
for
mean-
it.
I mean,
It was like-
honestly,
yeah.
if you saw somebody that was lost in the bathroom, how hard is it to be friendly and just say,
Yeah.
oh, our office is right over there?
Yeah, and we're thinking
That's
that
not
little
that big a
signs
deal.
or something to the restroom
Yeah,
this
we don't-
way,
yeah,
or
I
something.
And
And that would solve without having, because I honestly, I can't see the front desk, they're answering the phone, people,
No.
wait, you know, gotta get a name tag.
no,
I think it's too much.
It's too much.
But I just wanted to make
I'll
sure.
take my clients to the
'cause-
east side if that happens.
Okay, so are we okay with that? Then the vendor standard is the name tag, and then our clients is everything is business as usual, but maybe we get some signs or something to help with the getting lost in
Direction.
that.
Get like those IKEA ones that are lights on.
Yeah, light it up or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Out of the yellow brick road.
follow the button.
Okay, so we'll go forward with the vendor thing with the name tags, and then that'll be on that side. Okay.
Yeah, I think-
Was that motioned in? I don't even.
Just motion it in.
Well, we need a motion now, right?
Was it motioned in though?
It was.
Or a motion to modify.
Small motion.
Okay, so,
The motion is to modify.
but
Modify, yeah.
our clients was motioned in as well.
Our clients, escrow, vendors,
Okay.
yes.
And escrow already said they weren't gonna do it.
Yes.
They replied, so we're not doing that, and the same thing as, vendor said, so,
I thought that was a cool answer.
yeah.
Go girl.
Yeah, so now we're not gonna do that, we're not gonna, I'm sorry, so, I mean, it's,
Modify,
so we modify this.
modify the motion.
You modify it?
Yes.
We all,
Second.
anyone disagree? It's okay if you think this is, we can talk about it. We're good?
We're good.
Okay.
It was Jason saying.
Jake, okay. Because a couple of people have told me, and they're like, I don't know, and so I just wanted to bring that back up. Is there anything else that we need to discuss for this ALC meeting, or are we good to move on to 21? 21 laws of leadership.
Oh.
We're good?
Let's go.
I brought it
Go.
Let's
Let's
do it,
go.
and we should have food here in the next little bit.
And Jessica and Rima said she'll do it. Jessica's considering it.
Okay.
I'm gonna say.
Awesome, do a
Awesome,
job.
that'll be a
Good
great
job, that was
ALC.
fast.
Oh, for
Yes.
next year.
Yes.
They're not just for show, guys. Not just for show.
What are you showing?
You didn't see it? Hold on.
What are you showing?
And
Sorry, just a second.
we didn't, just really quick,
Sure.
that's a sore subject, but do we do anything about Ridgecrest?
So they're currently, we're looking at negotiating still for another building. The plan is to, continue growing Ridgecrest out there, and another building that they're looking at. You guys have been in negotiations for a little bit longer than you would expect.
You're still in the
Yes.
same building you were in.
Yeah, yeah.
They're still the same building, their
It's
financials
the
though.
rocking chair.
I know we're supposed to bring their financials, and I don't know if we did. Their financially, their
Last
caps,
time I looked, we're up 18,000 for the year
Yeah.
so far.
so their
Oh, that's
caps
good.
are all exactly on the same day. So when they all cap,
The first quarter looks bad.
first quarter's always gonna look bad. But we'd love to help recruit out to Ridgecrest and help, and the same thing with Acton. So Acton, one thing is we've moved on from a couple agents that were in Acton, and so they will need help with agents out there to filling that building. So if you know people that are living in Acton, would love an office, a beautiful office area, we have a great spot out there, agents that work in Acton a lot, we need help with that. That's a unique, tough spot, because if they live in Acton, they wanna go to Valencia, and for some reason.
No,
That's what I've
I
talked
live
to.
there, I love it there.
Was talking about with the agents I've talked to.
Yeah.
They say, nah, I gotta do it at Valencia. Okay, that's fun. All right, law 6, right?
Whatever you say.
You guys have your notes? I don't wanna play one, I wasn't here last month. I was in Texas last month, so
Nothing happened.
We didn't do it last month.
you didn't do it, so we're on 6.
We gotta just have boots. Thank you, Julie.
Law number 6 is the law of solid ground. And the law of solid ground says trust is the foundation of leadership. In fact, an expression I've used often that's in your workbook is this: trust is the glue that holds an organization and the leader together. It's the glue. And I want to talk to you about trust, and I want to talk to you about integrity, I want to talk to you about character. And in fact, to build trust in your notes, there are 2 things that you must, as a leader, be able to do. You must demonstrate consistent competence. Obviously, you have to consistently be competent in the area in which you're leading. And secondly, you have to demonstrate consistent character. You have to consistently be a person of integrity. And I can think of no law that probably is more important to share with you than this law. And so allow me just to talk to you about a couple of experiences I've had. Recently, I was being interviewed by the Wall Street Journal, and the person who was interviewing me said, "John, I would like to talk to you about business ethics." They said, in corporate America, things are not going real well, and there are a lot of leaders that have probably violated the trust factor. So he said, "If you don't mind, I'd like to do about a 30-minute interview with you on business ethics." And I know I shocked him, and I said, we don't need a 30-minute interview on business ethics because there's no such thing as business ethics. Got real quiet on the other phone. And the interviewer said, "Well, I'm talking about, what I'm talking about, all this business ethics that we've had and all the corporate side, and how that these leaders are just not really trustworthy." And they said, "I want you to talk to me about business ethics." And I said, I'll be glad to talk to you, but I said, "There's no such thing as business ethics." Then I said, "There's just ethics. You either have it or you don't. And can I tell you something? If you have ethics, guess what? It works in business. And if you don't have ethics, it doesn't work in business. If you have ethics, it works in your community. If you don't have it, it doesn't work in the community. There's no such thing as family ethics or community ethics or business. No. There's just ethics. You got it or you don't. You're either a person of integrity or you're not. You're either a person that has character or you're a person that doesn't have character. And then we got into an amazing, wonderful 35-minute conversation about integrity and character and ethics. Now, what I want you to understand about this law of solid ground is that it's character and it's also competence. I don't in any way want to take away from the issue of competence. You have to consistently perform well if you're going to lead. And you have to consistently do right if you're going to lead. And you can't substitute, you can't say, okay, I'm a person of character. I want you to follow me because I'm true to my word, I won't tell you a lie, I'm a great person of integrity. Oh, by the way, I'm a lousy leader. I'm not confident, but follow me. I don't want to follow somebody that has great character and low competence. Do you? The good news is you can trust them. The bad news is you trust them in bad places because they didn't lead you well. So it's not like I want to have you to have character without competence, but I also don't want you to have competence. In other words, be a very good leader, understand and have leadership skills and abilities. I don't want you to be a great leader and lack character because I'm not going to be able to trust you. And one won't substitute for the other. And what we have to understand about the law of solid ground is that in the law of solid ground, we either grow and get better in this area and increase our trust level, or we decrease it and we become more cynical. And the best way, I think the best way to explain this, perhaps, is to illustrate it. And if you allow me, Chuck, let me illustrate it to you, okay? The best way I can explain this law is building trust is like having change in your pocket, okay? And so what I'm going to do is, let's say that I just come to the company. I'm the new kid on the block, and I have a kind of a leadership position, and you want me to do well, and Chuck, you're kind of like chairman of the board or whatever it is, okay. So anyway, what you do is you give me X amount of change of which I am to operate. In other words, you feel I'm trustworthy, you hire me because of character. So okay, and what you're going to do is I'm going to either, because I'm a trustworthy person when I come to the company, I'm going to either increase the change or I'm going to decrease the change. For example, let's say I don't have very good character. I lack integrity. I'm not trustworthy. I don't always tell the truth. And so let's say, I've been here maybe 3 or 4 months and you ask me about a report of which I make an excuse which you know is not true. Well, every time I do something that's not trustworthy, I give up some change out of my pocket. You see what I'm saying? But it's okay because I still have change. And as long as I have change, I can still operate because there's a certain level of trust I still have. But let's say a month or 2 later, you can find that I'm not trustworthy in another area. And perhaps I've gone over to Bridget's office, and again, she comes here and says, you know what, I don't think he's truthful with me in this matter. Well, every time what happens is, every time I don't do well, I give up change. But it's okay because I still have some change. See, as long as I have change in my pocket, I can operate. Well, let's say a few more months go by, and now there are other people who are beginning to talk about the fact that I'm not probably a person of my word, and that they're not sure they can really trust me. And so you talk to me about it. And so now what happens is, there's a day when I do something I shouldn't have done, and I walk into your office, and what I've been doing is I've been using my change. I've been living off of goodwill. You follow me? I've been living off of the slack that you gave me. And this time, Chuck, I come in the office and you say, John, here's another issue, and I reach automatically. What I do, I reach in my pocket. And isn't it interesting? Instead of changing my ways, I want to live off of goodwill. And this time, when I reach in my pocket this time, and when I do it this time, this is a picture of a leader in trouble. I'm out of gas. I have no more change in my pocket. It's over. I'm going to have to go to a new organization. Why? Because I have used up the change in my pocket. Now, as I can deplete it by doing things lacking character and lacking integrity, it's also true that if I do things that show character, I increase my change. I was just reading the other day, and this is huge, about a CEO that told his employees, brought together a company meeting, and he said, let me tell you something. If anybody in this company asks you to do anything that's wrong, here's my personal phone number. And anybody ever asks you to tell a lie, anybody ever asks you to fudge a report, anybody ever asks you to do something that violates your integrity, he said, you don't need to go to your supervisor. He said, you call me immediately. I thought, what a huge statement. Well, Chuck, if I'm trustworthy, and you begin to see that I am a person of my word, and that I do follow through, and I do take responsibility, what happens is you start giving me some change. And so I felt like, Chuck, look at that, I love this. Hey, Chuck, now Chuck, I've given him a 5, I've given him a 20, I've given him 50, I didn't give him $100. I mean, I gave him some bills. You got me? So when Chuck is now giving me back change, he looks through all the bills and gives me a 5 back. I mean, Chuck, he's very stingy now. He's slowly, all right, here's 5, here's 5. Now let me just stop here for a moment, because Chuck and I didn't plan this at all. We're just talking. But I want to tell you something. This is exactly the way it works. Listen very carefully. In the area of character, you lose it a lot quicker than you get it back. And when you start violating issues of integrity with people, and they begin to realize that you've probably manipulated them, violated them, I promise you that as you try to build that trust level back, they'll dole it out $1 at a time. You lose it a lot quicker than you gain it. Does that make sense? Now, what's happening here in this illustration with Chuck is, if I continue to be trustworthy, Chuck will give me a little bit more change. And you're still going to the lowest dollar, aren't you? And I say thank you. And by the way, every time he gives me a little bit of change, boy, I've got more change in my pocket. And then we come up another time, and I'm just showing trustworthiness. I'm showing character. I'm showing integrity. I'm making right decisions. Maybe not even good for me, but good for the company. And I get a little more. And every time, wait, Chuck. And you know what? After a while, I start liking our meetings. Because I'm liking our meetings because I'm gaining change. I had a guy one time tell me, he said, well, I don't like my board meetings. I don't like my meetings when I get the key players together. And I said, it's because you're losing change. Let me tell you something. If you're losing change with people, you don't like meeting with them. But if you're getting change, if you go to a meeting, you know you're going to get some more bucks, huh? Well, you say, this is going to be a good meeting. See, you're either building them, you're either depositing or you're withdrawing. This area of solid ground and trust. And so I do well, and I get a little bit more. And this is the 4th time you give me something. 3 times I had all the money to you, and it's taken, but I do well, and I keep coming back, and finally I get that last piece. Now here's what I want you to see. Here's what I want you to see. You're on solid ground when you walk around your company, or you walk around your department, or your place of business, and your pockets are loaded with change. In fact, if you have to walk around with a limp, why are you limping? I'm just loaded with change. That's your goal. In fact, the goal of a leader is to increase his or her change in their pocket. In fact, let me say this. Hang on, here we go. You cannot make changes in the organization unless you have change in your pocket. It takes a lot of change in your pocket to make big changes in your company. Isn't that true? But if there's a high integrity level, there's a lot of trust level, and the long solid ground is there, you can make a lot of huge changes. It can be very, very successful, but it takes change in your pocket to make changes in your organization. And I want you just to take a moment and look at a couple of statements I have in your notes. Statements such as, a leader cannot continually break trust with people and continue to influence them. Oh, the questions are huge. Questions such as, do I have change in my pocket? Is my change increasing or decreasing? Do I pass the integrity test? Somebody says, what's the integrity test, Chuck? The integrity test is this. With integrity, the longer I lead, the better it gets. Without integrity, the longer I lead, the worse it becomes. That is so true. The law of solid ground says trust is the foundation of leadership.
Got to pause it, otherwise it's going to keep going. All right, it's pretty good, huh?
Yes.
How true is that? One bad decision in your real estate business your reputation can be hurt pretty quickly, huh?
Yeah.
At one time you got that bad commission breath. And all of a sudden you're known as always having bad commission breath, even though you brush your teeth every morning. Still have that bad commission breath. Any ahas you want to share? We're gonna stall because our food's not here yet, so
Okay, we'll stop.
we gotta go over this.
I love how he said about ethics, like there's no business ethics, like you
Yes.
have to be
Yes.
ethics, like.
You're ethical or not.
Yeah, that goes into your personal, your business, like that. is-
People hide behind the statement, it's just business.
Right.
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
I can
Justify
screw you
almost
because it's
anything
just
with
Yeah,
business.
just business.
Yeah.
I can hose you.
Yeah, so we live like an ethical life, like by integrity, then we, you know, that spills into our business.
Yeah.
How we deal with our clients and everybody else around us.
Yeah, and I remember the rule always says, how you behave here is how you behave everywhere.
Yeah.
So you cannot be two persons,
So true.
so
Yeah.
either you are or you are not.
Yeah. Anyone else? Any aha? Anything they liked, disliked? No?
It's fundamental.
Yeah.
The trust is a glass, but if you want to break it, you cannot even,
It makes it really hard to gain.
Yep.
yeah. Doesn't gonna have the same shape, doesn't gonna look the same.
Yep. There's agents that I know are pretty good agents that I felt like have done wrong in my eyes when going through transactions. And I don't feel like they might be the most, I know for a fact they're good people because I see them at church and I see them doing things in the community, but I can't get over how they acted in the business transaction, and I feel they're fake and they are, just my opinion, like they probably do better than me in everything in the world, and when we get to heaven, I'm sure, God's gonna be like, well, she's better than you. I'm like, but not that transaction. Not that one time. And I'm holding her to it, like, I can't get over that because it was very unethical to me, and I feel like that's how she is no matter what. And
Go to church to forgive them.
I know. And I didn't listen very good during that service. I forgive her, but I just don't want to do a transaction with her.
Typically, leverage don't change your spots.
Yeah.
They're gonna do it one time, chances are they're gonna do it again. 'Cause
Well,
they
we need to
compromise their
push, we
position.
need to get
Yes.
pushed. When everything's easy, it's easy to make it.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, trusting a person is not that the person is perfect, it's
Yeah.
how the person responds after they did wrong. Because I remember an agent, she was mad about me canceling the transaction, and she started screaming and said, I'm not there. Maybe I don't speak English well, but I'm not there. I can hear you very well, so when you come down, call me. So after that, she called me and apologized
Yeah.
for the way that she behaved. So for me,
Yeah.
my trust in her is still intact
Yeah.
because she recognized.
Yeah.
Good for you,
So it's not how.
At a weak moment, she
Yeah.
had,
Yeah, it's not how perfect we are,
Yeah.
it's how we respond to our bad habits.
They don't have a name.
Yeah.
That's all we can
It's
say.
nameless.
Yep. All we can control is ourselves.
One of the things we talked about in our team meeting is we made a decision, obviously, every year we create goals, and one of the things on customer service is, we talk about our character. And one of the biggest things that, what irritates me is when you have a transaction, and another agent, if there's a problem, they go in hiding.
Yeah.
You can't get
Yes.
hold of them, you text them, you do everything you can, and I'm the type of guy, I'm gonna tell you up front, this isn't gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen, okay? I'm sorry. The guy didn't qualify, or didn't have enough money, or whatever the
Yeah.
case may be if you're representing the buyer. But especially if you're doing the listing side, it's so common nowadays that if there's a problem,
They
you
run.
text, you call, you
Yeah.
email,
People
just
cannot,
run, they
people
hide
cannot,
somewhere.
yeah.
just be upfront,
Yeah. And people, they just don't know how to deal with that part of the business. It's hard.
Blame, confrontation.
Yeah, confrontation.
Yeah.
Well, you think a lot of
Accountability.
people that are in real estate, the high eyes, they don't want to disappoint,
Yeah.
they don't know what
I
to
would
do,
just
so they
rather
hide.
know upfront.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me the truth.
Most people would, everyone
Yeah.
would for the most
Yeah,
part.
I
It's
mean-
better to know today than 4 days from now when you did know, and now I found out some other way.
Yeah. And I think, especially on the listing side of it, when you're dealing with the person, a lot of times we deal with some of the sellers that might be not too nice,
Yeah.
they're really high strung and they're confrontational and everything else. And you don't you don't wanna tell them bad news, you know? But, and that's where, even on your side of it, that comes into play. So you need to be upfront like immediately.
Go grab, I guess,
Whether,
the here, I'll be right back.
you know, there's a connotation there or not, because you don't want it.
I don't know what it is, so.
You set it up ahead of time,
Yeah.
say, look, I'm gonna tell you everything bad.
Yeah.
I may try to work it out for an
Yeah.
hour or two, and if I can't, I'm calling you.
I always, when I go to a listening appointment, take a listening, this is,
Yeah, right.
explain to them the emergency period, you know.
They do. They're very selective about what they remember.
They forget
You
that,
said-
they forget what you said at the listing.
Yeah, they do, they're
You
like,
may have to be.
you're gonna get me how much money? No,
Yeah.
that's only if.
Yeah, don't get married to
If
that
the appraisal
amount.
comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that, those type of things come up often, you know, they're a problem, that's for sure.
Being transparent, being real with people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the best way to go.
Yeah.
It's better than just trying to fake it and, dilute it and make it seem like it's, cause then you can move on, go to the next thing.
What's disappointing to me is in that exact same scenario is when the other agent will throw you under the bus to their client.
Mm-hmm, oh, yeah.
No, I actually just got a text message from an agent who meant to send it to her client.
Oh, great.
And I texted her, you just sent this to me, and she goes, oh, I was meaning on the closing. I'm like, no, that is not what you just said. And she was like, oh no, everything's good. I'm like, I get it, but you just told your clients I wasn't responding, and you gave me 5 minutes to respond.
It's gonna
So I
have
snapshotted the whole
one
thing
board
and sent it
member.
back, and it's like, oh no, that's not what I was talking about. I'm like, yes, you were.
Hey, ladies. I guess they forgot the dressing, they're bringing it back. But you guys come on and eat, let's not be shy. Let me get some plates or paper towels.
You don't know the.
I was taught never to touch a woman's purse.
When they wanna get their coffee.
Yeah, they do.
That hurt.
Thank you. I touch you, I touch you.
You should never steal from me.
It's the best buyer. I don't know you, I don't know you buyer. This is a business, not about a house. It's a business.
It's really nice when you get an offer from a city.
Like ALC Meeting.
Like me, right?
Yeah.
We're discussing.
If you get somebody business,
Or at least someone that people
Organization.
like, maybe it falls out, but at least they're real with you the whole time. So instead of stringing you along on something that might happen.
They didn't give us plates. Yep. So, oh, you got plates out? Oh, I'm so happy. I was a better looker than I am. I hope it's like everything got in my hands, girl. Alright, come eat. Yeah, Adam.
Oh my God. Who brought the food?
Krista Kelly from NHG Solutions. So give her a thank you by writing her name